Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who subscribed, welcome. For those of you who are new, my name is Olivia. I'm a beauty and fashion illustrator, and today's topic will be the beginnings and how I started creating fashion illustrations, and my first few customers that I worked with, and some of the obstacles that I encountered along the way. So I always I think ever since I remember, I used to draw. Like as a kid, when I was 5, 6 years old, I remember, drawing Sailor Moon, drawing, fashion illustrations from, different magazines. I mean, I still have some of the old artwork back home, so whenever I go back there, I should, take a few of those illustrations and make a video just on that. Hopefully, I still have a good body of artwork there and that I can take with me. I started drawing consistently, so I started drawing at about 5 or 6 years old, and then I consistently drew up until I was maybe 17 or 18. And I took a break, and then I started drawing again in my 20s. I think I was 25 or 26. And I think that was the best decision I ever made, and what led me to be more focused on that is just the amount of jobs that I had that had pretty much no meaning up until that point. And then when I started, focusing all my attention and my efforts on my artwork, then life just, took a different kind of turn, and it just became more meaningful. And don't get me wrong, I always had a job, so it was not, I didn't have this pressure to put on my art to pay my bills. And I think, nobody should have this put on their artwork. You need the time to create and create your best art without having to, worry about your bills or whatever needs to be paid, and not take, awful commissions or commission ideas or whatever from people just because you need the money to pay your, rent or whatever. So no, I did have a few jobs, and then I was still, drawing during that time. I would take my weekends and focus on that. The nights after coming back from work, I would still work on my art. And then I started having, gigs coming in, people asking me about, commissions. I did that for a while. And then I started getting messages from, brands. And here's the thing, guys. I did reach out before. I think when I was in my third, fourth year of doing art, I did reach out to brands, and that brought me nowhere. And I don't know if you guys noticed, I don't have a website, so I don't really have a way of, people really finding me unless it's social media. And that's where I focused all my attention on, because those brands found me on social media, and this is how I got work done, through social media. That's why I'm like always, very adamant about put your work out there, draw every day, and then be consistent, and build that audience, build that body of work, for people to see, because you'll never know. Even now, I don't have a website, and I still, work with brands, and this is how they find me. Of course, that's not advisable. You need to have a website, and I'm just too, I'm always procrastinating doing that, because that's a different story. But anyway, yeah, this is how my first, first events came through social media. I got, an email first from Macy's, then another one from Sephora, then, a few months later, I was working with David Yurman. Not sure if you guys are familiar with the brand. They're more into the jewelry business, and I did a few events. I think those are the first events that I did for a brand, was for David Yurman, and I went in 3 different states for those events, and they were like between 3 and 4 hour long. It was my first, real taste of how those events are actually working or what you need to do there. I mean, it was first one, it was very stressful because I didn't really know what to expect, and I didn't even know what I should be doing, but I did ask a lot of questions prior to that. Prior to that, even like 2 or 3 weeks, I really wanted to know everything from how are the customers going to be brought there to my table for me to actually create the sketches of them wearing the jewelry, to, you know, how long can I spend on one illustration, how many customers they have, and all that. And also talking about overtime, because sometimes at these events, you don't know how many people are going to attend. Sometimes these are more private, so the managers there at the store know who is invited and who's going to get an illustrations, but sometimes, you know, things can get unpredictable and you never know. So, and you also, this is a big thing, guys, like if you're one of those artists who is very detailed like I am with my artwork, for me it takes a few good hours to produce an illustration like this. You don't have hours at those events, you have minutes. And when I'm talking about minutes, I'm talking about, you know, between 3 and 5, 7 minutes at the most. So you really need to practice up until then, and then you need to set a time aside for like at least a week before the event to practice and deconstruct that illustration that you usually create, and then just keep your style simple but still yours, because you will not have time to create those those illustrations so detailed. You only have minutes. Then a few months later, I got other brands contacting me. I got events for Louis Vuitton. Then when Louis Vuitton got purchased Tiffany's, then I got Tiffany's as a customer, and I mean, these two brands are just amazing to work with. Their organization and their, you know, planning for these events is just incredible, and I love them as a customer. Other than that, the issues and the problems that I kind of noticed along the way are, I don't even know where to start, because there are some things that I really want to talk about in this video, but there are some other things that I want to make a separate video about. Well, the hardest part is actually getting your work noticed, and the only way you can do that is by, you know, working on your craft. Every day, work on your craft. Once you do that, your work is going to get better. And you don't even have to reach out to people to get noticed. They're going to reach out to you. And guys, it's so much easier when a brand or a customer reaches back to you than vice versa, because you have the upper hand. When they reach out to you, you have the upper hand when it comes to the pricing, when it comes to the length of the project, when it comes to, you know, you do have that. But when you reach out to them, that means, you know, they're going to be thinking, hey, you know, you probably don't have a lot of customers and you want me as your customer. And that's a totally different story. And I don't know, maybe for some artists it does work, but it never worked out for me. So have your best work put out there. The best work at that very time, because, you know, your best work now, it's not going to be your best work 3 months from now if you keep practicing. That's the hardest thing, to actually get noticed. Also, just do collaborations. If, you know, other accounts on Instagram or Facebook reach out to you to have your, you know, artwork featured on their page, let them know you're okay with it, as long as they credit your work. Because I've seen a lot of you know, artwork out there posted on different accounts on Instagram, and they don't even credit the artist, and I know for a fact it's not theirs. The second biggest thing and biggest problem is, you know, artwork that is not credited. Guys, this is big. I don't even want to tell you how many times I got emails and messages from other people telling me that my work is featured on YouTube or on Instagram under other accounts, and it's just posted as it's theirs, and it's not. That's another big thing. And unfortunately, this is gonna keep happening, because I keep reporting those accounts, but then there's gonna be new accounts doing the same thing. So this is a never-ending story. Also, be sure to Google yourself. Make sure there's not a lot of artwork out there that's not in your name or someone else is taking advantage. I found some of my drawings posted for sale on some websites, and I did not authorize or approve that, so I had to, report those as well. But yeah, these are the only issues so far. If I come up with others, or if I remember to post others out there, I'll probably make a separate video. But I hope this was helpful, guys. You have a wonderful day.